this book, this one. Look at how fat that is. That is, I mean, by the way, if you order this off Amazon, the postage might be fairly hefty, because that's a thick book. All City Writers. This is a really, really great book. So let's just dive in so I can show you what this is. This is basically an encyclopedia of graffiti. Oh, look at this. You see this fantastic picture? They used to dump New York subway trains in the bay like that. That's how they got rid of them. Just dumped them. Just ditch it in the water. What have we got? So look at this. New York subway timeline. Goes all the way through. This gives you like a concise history, or as concise as you're going to get it anyway, of the way street culture started to evolve in the way that it did. The Warriors. This was a classic movie for those of us, I mean presumably in New York as well, but for those of us in Europe, seeing this, it's the first time we really saw subway trains bombed the way they were, because this is what, 79? Got its release in the UK in 1980, I think it was, and it was jaw-dropping when we saw this. Yeah, we got Wild Style, Subway Art comes out here. What was that? Can't remember. Yeah, you got. Is this Subway fan? Blah blah blah. I think this is fanzine stuff, magazine stuff. Brilliant. Now we get into. I mean, you can see how much information there is here. There is so much information. Here we go. Dashing trains into the bay, into the sea. Early days of graph. Look at this. Snake. Really, really early writers. Basically, these are the first writers. These are the guys, you know, who are... You know, people had always written their names. There's always been that. But, yeah, putting style into the letters of your name as you write them and all that kind of stuff, that was a very new thing. Late 60s, early 70s. I'm just going to flip through so you can see what this does, because it's such a fat book. I'm never going to get through it in a time. So I'll just keep on going. Declaration of Star Wars. Ooh, nice Lequanonus piece there. Early one. New York City Raptor. Great. What the New York subway used to be. These old red trains. I don't know much about all this stuff, by the way. I don't know the history of the trains or anything like that. A great guy for that is Prox1. If you don't follow Prox on Instagram, he's a really good one to follow. It's all about those trains. He sent me a whole bunch recently of the different ones. Grand Concourse, Jamaica Road, is it? All those ones. CMP Spin. He did great stuff. Yeah, so it's talking about European writers, fascination of the elevated tracks, all that. Onto the trams. Look at this. 85, June 85. Who's this? Giant Style, Chase, Magic, Chaos, Sunk, Eurozap, Welton Cab. Oh, look at that. Amazing. 92. All Amsterdam, this. Holland has always had an amazing graph scene. It's one of the first cities to really pick it up. Crime Time Kings. So this was Bando's crew. Sorry, the first international crew formed by uniting the most represented groups: London, Paris, Amsterdam. So you got Bando, you got Shoe, Delta, early members of TCA. This is Stalingrad in Paris. Very famous Crime Time Kings piece there. So cool. Mode 2 here. Absolutely instantly recognisable. Beautiful. Early European pieces. How much do you want to get hold of a copy of this book, right? It's amazing. Amazing. Rando painting a crime time. We all used to wear this stuff back then, by the way. We all used to wear stuff with like homemade graph painted on it. I was talking to Nick the other day about it, and we were kind of laughing about the fact everyone looked like a graffiti writer back then. You could tell that, but that was the point. You know, we all looked like graffiti writers to each other. Look at these beautiful letters, super crisp outlining. It's a real golden age of graph, I have to say. You know, look at that fabulous trackside piece. Look at those lines. I mean, really look at those lines. They are crisp, even, beautiful, straight. The man is a sign writer, you know, except super street styling. Simple letters as a standard, you know. More Holland. Actually, apparently somebody was telling me the difference between Holland and Netherlands. Somebody tell me in the comments what that is, please, because I don't quite understand it to this day. The difference between Holland and the Netherlands. I thought it was the same place. And somebody told me, no, they're two different things. Anyway, fantastic partners, TFP. This is Germany. Yeah, Neon TFP, talking about New York. Sorry, that was misleading. That's not Germany. This guy. RTA. Great. Lovely shot of the tracks there. Beautiful. Denmark. Trains getting done in Europe. Panels in motion. Yeah, these guys, balaclavas on, hitting in broad daylight. They still do that in Europe. I don't think we really do that much in the UK. It's a different setup here. This became very big, you know, painting backdrops during the show. Do people still do that? Used to be a really big thing. Just a love all that. Into publications here. Look, there's graphitism. I remember graphitism coming out, getting the word on the street. Some writers coming up to me saying, you know, have you heard? You know, we've got a UK graph mag. It's like, what? Amazing, because up to then we didn't really have any graffiti magazines. We had zines, you know, graffiti fanzines and stuff. Oh, here we go. The original flick swap. What fanzines owe to this habit? It was so great. It was all do it yourself. Putting stuff together in photocopy machines and stuff like that. It's an amazing time. Sending each other pictures and stuff. Look at this. Old 70s stuff. I don't know who that is. That's Blade. Yeah, that's Blade. You can tell by the massive blade piece behind him. Just have a look, see if I can see Tracy 168. There's no sign of a Tracy 168 there, which is a pity. Oh, look at that. World Trade Center in the background there. Wow, look at that. Subway Sun. Oh, International Get Hit Times. I had one of those once, years ago. Back in the 90s. I think it might have been that one, actually. Might well have been that one. It was very exciting. Everything was a bit do-it-yourself, a bit thrown together. Exciting time. You can see how much info there is here. Interviews with people, timelines. There's the Futura piece in Ladbroke Grove that was painted in 82, 83, 82, I think. yeah, early anyway. People went round it for years. It took ages and ages and ages before somebody finally dogged it. Beautiful old publications, old magazines and stuff. Very sad to see the magazine culture vanish. It's virtually non-existent now. Only older writers seem to ever really bother about magazines nowadays. Yeah, more of that stuff. A lot of this stuff, On the Run, The Ultimate Magazine, a lot of this stuff, you know, we never got anywhere near it because limited numbers, difficult to get hold of. And obviously, if you're a writer, you got hold of this stuff, you weren't getting rid of it, you were keeping hold of it. And over the years, writers are obviously very chaotic, and most of us end up losing most of our stuff, unfortunately. I'm wondering if On the Run turned into On the Run the brand. Is that right? Am I being very dense there? I'm assuming that they did. I'm assuming they run the On the Run, the OTR brand in Germany. Denmark Fantasy, yeah. Again, the Danish had a fantastic graph culture. Lovely Lumit piece there, next to Hex of Los Angeles. What's that? Yeah, Hex's Hall of Fame over in LA. Two fantastic writers, still going strong today. I think Lumit's more moved into a much more fine art background, but it's holding on to his graph roots. Hex still very much an artist for road. Helsinki, Finland. Never really heard about a Finnish scene. Don't know what that is. Don't know what that's what that's like. Eastern Europe. Wow, look at that. That's Poland. Czech Republic. Yeah, man, I remember chunky pieces like this. Wow, yeah, this is like early 90s. Damn, you see a lot of this sort of stuff in graphitism. Beautiful graph walls like this, just endlessly gone over. Fantastic. Have to get my very, very strong specs on to see those pieces. Not much chance there. Colt, that's Colt in Paris subway. He's a very well-known writer from that time. Oh, a lovely Chrome Angels piece. So this is Covent Garden in London. This became a really major hangout for writers. It was a sort of mecca. UK's hip hop scene. This is all Covent Garden. Obviously, this is Scribbler and Zaki D of the Chrome Angels. This is Pride. A whole bunch of guys from up there. I don't think it really matters that I'm naming names here because these guys are really, really famous. Really famous pioneers of the London scene and the UK scene. Paris, Stalingrad, slightly obsessed with this place. This was amazing, amazing looking place, sort of bomb site kind of place that just became the most famous French Hall of Fame. Sorry, my stuff's everywhere, it's stuck in me, showing you properly. Lovely big shoe piece there. Very, very famous piece by, can't remember, probably says on there, but it's too small for me to tell. That's Locus. That mad style Locus had. Again, really innovative. Look at how innovative this work is. It's different from its New York origins. Owes a lot to it, obviously, but it's different. You can see it's evolving. You can see it's moving. So great. Wowee. Yeah. Munich. Okay, my time's nearly up. This is one of those pieces that you look at when you start to scrutinise the detail on this. It's amazing. Construction of these letters is to die for. These characters are beautiful, but really it's all about these chunky letters for me. Really fantastic. Look at the size of it as well. You know, there's a car. You know, they're big. Brilliant, big production walls. You know, production walls were not that common either, still, you know, 80s and 90s. Anyway, there you go, guys. I'm going to wrap up in a second. A lot of Moto on there. I think this is about as much as I can bring you. I'll have to wrap it up there. But what a book, right? What a book. Get yourself a copy. All City Writers. It's brilliant.